A good education system is reliant on its students being able to think, grow, and learn. In Finland, in America, and everywhere else in the world, good learning comes in all different shapes and sizes. So what does that look like? What does good learning look like?
I'm constantly changing my mind about that.
Students understanding where things come from and why they happen.
Seeing the value of what they're learning about.
They're solving problems.
They're working together, they're collaborating, investigating, using their resources.
Teaching each other.
When you can actually see students do it themselves.
You know, kids need to talk in order to learn. They need to move around in order to learn.
When students are interested in taking ownership of what they're doing.
Working hard to take wherever they are and move them one click up at a time.
I like to have students work as collaboratively. It not only is good for learning, but it's good for life skills.
Thinking like a historian, acting like a historian, being informed citizens.
Seeing how they could apply it to solve problems in the future.
Sometimes it even makes me think. I realize things.
Learn more about the world and see that there's a bigger world out there.
The aha moment.
Having those light bulb moments.
When I can actually see that like aha moment.
Whenever that happens, I always get goosebumps.
When we look at a system like Finland, we can talk about education as a function of the structure, teachers, and culture. Let's first talk about the backbone of Finland's education system, its unconventional structure. From a young age, childhood education is supported. In hopes of fostering a comfortable and accessible learning environment for all children, Finland supports early childhood education. According to Claudia Sanchez of NPR, every child in Finland under the age of 7 has the right to childcare and preschool by law, regardless of family income. Many families take advantage of this and enroll their children into programs which help to establish an understanding of how to make friends and how to get used to a structured environment. At the age of 7, all students are enrolled in an elementary school. They stay there for about 6 years and move on to middle school after that. After completing middle school, a Finnish student will decide if they want to go to a general high school called Lukio or if they want to go to a vocational school.
They chose to continue going to school, so the teachers know that they want to be there. That just really sets a different mood for the school. Kids were a lot more eager to learn.
We have a very small school, only 200 students. Other high schools in Finland have about 500 students or a little bit over.
And finally, after 3 years of high school or vocational school, students can enroll in a university. Higher education in Finland is free, which makes it very competitive for the students living there. The competition makes it worth it, however, because students aren't graduating with tons and tons of student debt. A typical school day can look a little different in Finland. In elementary and middle schools, time spent outside is highly valued. Ellen Winnett writes that students are required to play outside, where teachers join them in vigorous games of chasing and soccer. Time spent outside gives the brain a rest. Kids are tired, and it's important that they're not constantly exhausted with schoolwork.
It was a lot more student-driven and experience-based, and you were given more breaks. We got to change up the day a little bit more.
Amanda Ripley, observer of Finnish schools, noted that they suspected children learn best through undirected free play. And it's true, time spent outdoors is highly beneficial to students. So what does a Finnish classroom actually look like? Finnish classrooms are structured pretty much the same as any typical classroom. The main difference is in what kind of things are being taught.
Yes, we call our teachers by their first name. We call everyone by their first name, and teachers aren't any exception.
Teachers like Hanapi Hampara attributes her success to her autonomy as a teacher. She said, "I love being a teacher when I can make my own decisions and teach in my own way. If someone tries to force me to use ways that don't fit me, it doesn't work. But when I can try new things when I want and when I feel they are needed in my class, I am interested to try new things." Finland's education system structure allows for teachers to formulate their own curriculums and lessons. They work closely with the principals of the schools, and all teachers are actively engaged in designing the school curriculum. It is also up to teachers to assess how well their pupils achieve the learning goals because there are no external standardized tests. Teaching is a very well-respected profession in Finland. In order to become a teacher, Pasi Sahlberg says, a rigorous graduate degree and at least 5 years of full-time study serve as the foundation of the teaching profession in Finland. Teachers are highly respected as professionals.
So they were allowed to kind of teach however they felt it was best for the class.
They don't need to be constantly assessed because everybody just figures that they can do their job. Lastly, Pasi Sahlberg talks about what Finnish schools generally believe about their teachers. A good teacher is one who is able to help all children progress and grow in a holistic way.
We are more closer to our teachers here, and that we have a lower threshold to go up to and talk to our teachers about pretty much everything.
Lastly, let's look at education as a function of Finnish culture. In the article, Why Finland Has the Best Schools, William Doyle talks about what he saw observing a Finnish classroom. He mentions that Finns put into practice the cultural mantras I heard over and over. Let children be children. The work of a child is to play, and children learn best through play. These ideas are so inherent in Finland's culture and complemented in the school. What do we want to cultivate within our students? Is it letting kids be kids for as long as possible, like Finland says? Or is it teaching kids how to prepare for exams at a young age? These are the questions we need to look at when talking about education. Another aspect of the culture is how people and equality is viewed. In Finland, a person's socioeconomic background does not have an influence on the quality of a person's education. Linnell Hancock, author of Why Are Finland's Schools So Successful, writes, one of Finland's top priorities is providing a quality education for all of its students, so income does not have much of an impact on education like it does in America. When all schools are created equally, no parent is worried that their student will suffer from an adulterated education. Finland believes in equality and strongly encourages that in their education system. I will leave you with a quote from Finnish teacher Hanna Pihampura. Good learning happens when children are all quiet and really concentrate on their work. Good learning is also when they are interested to try and solve problems together and talk intensively about the task. But the best learning happens when children are smiling and happy.